To do? Well, according to the records here, you have your admissions form, a financial aid application, 3 letters of recommendation, transcripts from regional college. So that's everything you need except a transcript from county community college.
That's what I thought. You see, I took a couple of courses there during the summer because it's close to my parents' house. Anyway, almost all of my first 2 years is from regional college, and that's where I'm transferring from. In fact, the credit for the community college courses appears on the transcript from regional college as transfer credit, but it doesn't show my final grades in the courses.
Oh, and you haven't been able to register for your courses here at State University because the computer shows that you're missing some of your application materials. Is that it?
Exactly. What I was wondering is whether you have like a policy for this kind of situation so I could go ahead and register for this first semester while we wait for the transcript to get here. It should be here now. I requested it the same time that I requested a transcript from regional college, but they're just slow at county community.
That happens sometimes. Do you have a copy of your transcript from County Community College?
Yes, I do. It's right here. Of course, it isn't an official copy. It's stamped unofficial copy.
But I can use this one until the official copy gets here. Here's the best way to handle this. We can give you a provisional admission. That means that you're admitted contingent upon the receipt of your official transcript. That'll allow you to register for your courses this semester. When County Community College sends us your official transcript, then I can change your status from provisional admission to regular admission.
Oh, that's great.
Is this the only copy you have of your transcript?
No, I have another one.
Good. Then I'll just keep this in your file.
Okay.
Now the only problem is you can't register for next semester without regular admission status. And you need the official transcript for me to do that. So you still need to keep after them to get everything sent to us as soon as possible.
Right. Well, I'll do that. But at least I have some time to get it done. What do I need to do now to get registered, I mean?
Just wait here while I enter everything into the computer. And then you can take a copy of your provisional admission along with you to the office for transfer students. They'll assign you an advisor and help you get registered later today.
The concept. Talk to this. Okay.
Liquid.
The concepts of power and authority are related, but they're not the same. Power is the ability to exercise influence and control over others. And this can be observed on every level of society, from, well, the relationships within a family to the relationships among nations. Power is usually structured by customs and social institutions or laws, and tends to be exerted by persuasive arguments or coercion or even brute force. In general, groups with the greatest resources tend to have the advantage in power struggles. So, is power always legitimate? Is it viewed by members of society as justified? Well, no. Power can be realized by individuals or groups, even when it involves the resistance of others, as long as they're in a position to impose their will. But what about power that's accepted by members of society as right and just, that is, legitimate power? Now we're talking about authority. And that's what I want to focus on today.
Okay.
Okay. When individuals or institutions possess authority, they have a recognized and established right to determine policies with the acceptance of those over whom they exercise control. Max Weber, the German classical sociologist, proposed three types of authority in society: traditional, charismatic, and rational or legal authority. In all three types, he acknowledged the right of those in positions of power to lead, with the consent of the governed. So, how did Weber differentiate among the three types of authority? Well, he divided them according to how the right to lead and the duty to follow are interpreted. In traditional authority, power resides in customs and conventions that provide certain people or groups with legitimate power in their societies. Often their origins found in sacred traditions. The example that most often comes to mind is a monarchy in which kings or queens rule by birthright, not because of any particular quality of leadership or political election, just because they have a claim to authority based on traditional acceptance of their position, and in some cases their unique relationship with and responsibility in religious practices. The royal families in Europe or the emperors in Asia come to mind as examples of traditional authority. Okay, this contrasts sharply with charismatic authority, which is derived because of personal attributes that inspire admiration, loyalty, and even devotion. Leaders who exercise this type of authority may be the founders of religious movements or political parties, but it's not their traditional right to lead. What's important here is that their followers are mobilized more by the force of the leader's personality than by the tradition or the law. So, when we think of charismatic leaders in the United States, perhaps John Kennedy would be an example, because he was able to project a youthful and energetic image that people were proud to identify with. Or if you prefer Republicans, you may argue that Ronald Reagan was able to exercise authority by virtue of his charismatic appeal. In any case, going back to Weber, to qualify for charismatic authority, a leader must be able to enlist others in the service of a cause that transforms the social structure in some way, which leaves us with legal rational authority, or power that's legitimized by rules, laws, and procedures. In such a system, leaders gain authority not by traditional birthrights or by charismatic appeal, but rather because they're elected or appointed in accordance with the law. And power is delegated to layers of officials who owe their allegiance to the principles that are agreed upon rationally, and because they accept the ideal that the law's supreme. In a legal, rational society, people accept the legitimacy of authority as a government of laws, not of leaders. So, an example of this type of authority might be a president, like Richard Nixon, who was threatened with impeachment because he was perceived as not governing within the law. Some sociologists have postulated that the three types of authority represent stages of evolution in society, that pre-industrial societies tend to respect traditional authority. But as societies move into an industrial age, the importance of tradition wanes in favor of charismatic authority, with a natural rise of charismatic leaders. Then, as the modern era evolves, the rational legal authority embodied by rules and regulations replaces the loyalty to leaders in favor of a respect for law. Of course, other sociologists argue that in practice, authority may be represented by a combination of several of these ideal types at any one time.